Okay, guys. So, third time's a charm, right? This is my very first YouTube video, um, and I'm gonna talk about the 5 dumb reasons slash excuses for waiting to start my YouTube channel. I thought that doing this first would help me be consistent in making subsequent videos, because once I get these 5 fears, excuses off my chest, I really don't have any other excuses to use to not upload on a consistent basis. So get right into it. Number 1 is fear of judgment. This is the biggest fear I feel that stops anyone from doing things that they would like to do. What was I afraid of you guys judging? So first of all, let's talk about appearance. So the biggest thing about my appearance, and probably maybe the only thing that really causes me any kind of discomfort or worry about judgment, is my teeth. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I had severe chronic vitamin D deficiency, and I have lost a few of my teeth because of that, and it makes me extremely self-conscious about smiling, about getting on video, about doing Instagram Live without, say, filters or not really looking at the screen. I know you guys can see it, and it is what it is at this point. It's not something that I could have done anything about with the information I had at the time, and it's not due to lack of self-care, which is what it appears, or at least how I felt it appeared to be. So other than that, nothing about my appearance bothers me or makes me self-conscious. I mean, I've gained weight from being on different medications, and again, it is what it is. Like, I exercise, I try to eat and right, except for you'll see probably cherry Pepsi in some of these videos at some point. It's my weakness. But it's not to the point anymore where it makes me really afraid to dress a certain way or anything like that. So as far as being judged about anything else, like, I'm gonna stumble. You see me looking, I have notes written here. This takes lots of practice. All of the experts that are on YouTube talk about how much practice it takes to really get good at something. Okay. Sorry, I paused there for a second. So number 2 for me is lack of interesting content. Let's face it, none of us are ever going to be interesting to everyone, ever. But all of us are interesting to some people, and there's always someone going through something similar, whether you're struggling or you're learning something new. We have all learned to overcome different obstacles and adversity in some way, and opening up, being transparent, and sharing all of that can potentially help others going through similar situations, whether it's showing them that they're not alone or giving them specific advice and tips on how to get through it, sharing your stories about how you have gotten through a tough time in your life, whatever, that somebody's going to resonate with that. It's going to resonate with them. Having a chronic illness, actually multiple chronic illnesses, gives me a ton of things that I can talk about, lots of content. I'm not going to focus on that all of the time. That's not my plan. However, the biggest thing that I want to do is help empower and help pull other people out of that feeling of being stuck and feeling hopeless and helpless, because I've spent the past 7 years learning how to get out of that myself. On top of that, I raised a child on the spectrum. I have 4 kids ranging from 19 to 2. Like, the content, just chasing a 2-year-old it fills up an entire day every day. So lack of content, interesting content. I think interesting is a word that is subjective, and hopefully you will find what I'm talking about interesting and share it with somebody else who it might help. So number 3 is a big one that I think a lot of people default to, which is lack of time / energy. Now, lack of time is definitely an excuse. Lack of energy can be either a reason or an excuse. With the rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia comes extreme periods of fatigue, like feeling like you weigh 1,000 pounds and can't move your body type of fatigue, like you've got the flu. I don't know how often I'm going to jump on here feeling like that, because just doing day-to-day stuff is exhausting. But lack of time, on the other hand, I don't know a single person who hasn't said I don't have the time for something, whatever that something was. The truth is, you, me, we are not making whatever that is, that thing, a priority, or it's just not a priority in our lives. We make time for the things that we really need to or want to do, whether that's, 9-to-5 job, or if you're an entrepreneur, or if you love coaching baseball, or you want to play video games, whatever your priorities are, that's what you're spending your time doing. Sometimes these priorities are on point. Sometimes they need to be reworked. If we're not growing and moving forward in a positive direction, it may be time to reassess our priorities. Number 4 for me was lack of tech knowledge. This is true in that my knowledge of tech leaves a lot to be desired. However, what also is true is that we live in a world where we can learn almost everything about anything, without having to leave our couch, let alone our house. Most of us are carrying mobile devices around. Right now you're watching me on arguably the largest search engine, and there are millions of how-to videos. So that's where this becomes an excuse. Editing skills, like you'll see Paz or a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old come through some of these videos, because I don't know how to edit yet. But that doesn't mean that I can't learn either. So that was an excuse, was I don't know how. This also goes back to priorities. Make it a priority, and we can make whatever it is happen. We can figure out how to do it. Number 5 is huge for me. It should have probably been number 2, but lack of credibility. So you don't know me. I don't know you guys yet. You guys will hopefully eventually get to know me. But I dispelled this as a myth last week in a conversation with a talented life coach named Lily Ma. I won a 1-hour session with her through an Instagram post from Evan Carmichael's. You can find Lily Ma at It's Lily Ma on Instagram. This is also lack of credibility, kind of also centered around the fear of judgment. I'm not an expert in anything as far as I'm concerned. I believe it takes years of practicing anything to reach expert status, and a lifetime to reach that guru status that everybody talks about. 19-year-olds claiming to be gurus irk me, because they're typically using the title to spark credibility. And do they know the subject? Sure, but no one reaches that status by studying something for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. Gurus, that's like a lifetime of experience in particular subjects. My credibility comes less from the amount of time that I've spent dealing with this, even though 7.5 years is a really long time, but more from a place of research, trial and error, honesty and complete transparency about myself, my mindset at any given time, and my struggles as well as my triumphs through all of this. Unless it's gonna hurt somebody, I'll be sharing pretty much everything with you guys concerning medications, what works, what doesn't work, mindset adjustments, books that I've read, projects that I'm working on, but how that all centers around what my message is and who I am and what I want to be able to give back to the world. So that's it. So I actually made it through the entire thing, and I hope you guys will come back and check out my other videos. I plan on talking about my why in my next video, why I decided to do this, and I'm really happy that I got those 5 excuses off my chest and I can move on, and hopefully with limited interruptions. I'm going to be leaving some links in the comments, or in the description I should say, once I figure out how to do it, to Roberto Blake. I want to give him a shout out too, as well as It's Lily Ma and Evan Carmichael for helping me get over that hump of getting started. And Roberto Blake has a website with some great teaching materials that you guys can check out if you're interested. And the one I'm working through right now is his YouTube starter package. So I'll leave a link for that, hopefully, in the description for you guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you guys around soon. Real quick, if you guys are looking for anything else that I'm working on, you can find me at Posh Notions across social media. And thanks a lot.